A very good morning, students. Welcome to English class. Today we are going to see what happens to Alice. Before going into the next paragraph, let us see some animated videos from Alice in Wonderland, especially Down the Rabbit Hole, okay?
Oh, there's nothing to do except lie on the grass and pick daisies. Shall I make a daisy chain for my dear little Dinah? Oh, I don't know. It's so hot.
Oh dear! Oh dear! I'm late! I'm so very late! Oh dear! Oh dear!
A white rabbit. A talking white rabbit. Perhaps. But a rabbit with a pocket watch? A rabbit with pockets! I must see where he's going.
Alice had never seen a rabbit with a pocket or a waistcoat or a pocket watch before, so she ran after the rabbit as fast as she could. And when the rabbit jumped down a large rabbit hole, Alice jumped straight after him.
Oh! Either this hole is very deep or I'm falling very slowly. And what a curious rabbit hole! Who would think a rabbit hole would have bookshelves? And books? And maps? And jars of marmalade?
Alice fell down, down, down. She fell for so long that she began to think about Dinah, her cat.
Dinah will miss me tonight. I hope they'll remember her milk at tea time. Dinah, my dear, I wish you were down here with me.
Alice was beginning to feel quite sleepy when suddenly her fall was over, and she found herself sitting on a pile of leaves and grass.
Ouch! Who's there?
Oh, my ears and whiskers! Oh, how late it's getting!
Wait! Please, sir, wait a moment.
The white rabbit ran down a long tunnel. Alice ran after him, but when she reached the end of the tunnel, she found only a long hall with doors all the way round. Alice tried to open the doors, but they were all locked. Then she saw a table with a tiny key on it.
These doors are all too big. There must be a smaller door somewhere. I wonder. Let me take a look behind this little curtain. Oh! A tiny little door. Let me try the key. What a beautiful garden. But how can I visit it? The door is so tiny, I can't even fit my head through. Oh, it's no use. I wish I could fold up like a telescope. Wait a minute. What's this? It certainly wasn't here before. A bottle. I wonder what it is. Let me see the label. Drink me. Oh! What a curious feeling! I'm folding up like a telescope.
And so she was. Alice got smaller and smaller until she was small enough to fit through the door. But she'd forgotten something.
The key!
Alice was too small to reach the key on the table. She tried and tried to climb up the table leg, but it was too slippery. When she had tired herself out with trying, poor little Alice sat down and cried.
It's no use. I can't reach the key, so I can't get into the garden, and that's that. There's no use crying like that. Alice, I advise you to stop this minute. Oh, what's this? A little glass box with cake inside. Oh, and there's a note. Eat me. I wonder if it'll make me grow. If I grow, I will be able to reach the key. But what if it makes me even smaller? Well, If it makes me smaller, I will be able to creep under the door.
And Alice began to eat the cake. Did she grow big enough to reach the key? Or perhaps the cake made her small enough to creep under the door and into her beautiful garden.
Students, have you enjoyed the video? Let us see the next paragraph. Let us see 10th paragraph. What a curious feeling, said Alice. I must be shutting up like a telescope. And then after drinking the liquid from the bottle, she feels very curious. What a curious feeling. Curious means very much interested or more interest. Okay, said Alice. I must be shutting up like a telescope. That is, she thought that she is going to be shrink. Shrink means becoming small. Okay, and so it was indeed. She was now only 10 inches high. And so it was indeed means it becomes. That means she thinks that she is shutting up like a telescope, and it becomes true. That is, indeed means it becomes true, and it is the need for her. Okay, that is needed, because if she becomes small means she can go out through the hole, isn't it? And so it was indeed. She was now only 10 inches high. Now she was only 10 inches high, only very small, 10 inches high. And her face brightened up at the thought that she was now the right size for going through the little door into that lovely garden. And her face brightened up, and she became 10 inches high, and then her face brightened up. Brightened up means her face is very bright because of happiness. Okay, at the thought that she was now the right size for going through the little door, because she thought that it is the right size to go through the little door into that lovely garden. She can go through the little door because she is now 10 inches high, so that she can reach the garden. Okay, first, however, she waited for a few minutes to see if she was going to shrink any further. First, she waited for a few minutes whether she is going to remain in the same size, that is 10 inches, or further she is going to be very small. So she waited for that. Shrink means becoming small. Okay, surungradu or chinnadagradu, that is called shrink. After a while, finding that nothing more happened, after some time, finding that nothing more happened, she decided on going into the garden at once. So after some time, nothing had happened to her, so she decided going into the garden. She decided to go into the garden. Okay, but alas, I already said alas means, alas is an interjection. It is used for any sadness. Okay, when we express our sadness. Alas for poor Alice, when she got to the door, when she moved to the door, she found she had forgotten the little golden key. And when she went back to the table for it, she found she could not possibly reach it. Okay, finally what happened? Why she said alas for poor Alice? That means there is a tragedy or there is a sadness for Alice because she forgotten the golden key. When she goes near the door, she found there is no golden key in her hand, and she went back to the table because she took it from the table. No, when she went back to the table, there is forgotten the little. When she went back to the table, she found she could not possibly reach it because she became very small, isn't it? 10 inches high. So she could not reach the table. She could not reach the table and touch the key, isn't it? She could see it quite plainly through the glass. She can just see through the plain glass, and she tried her best to climb up one of the legs of the table, but it was too slippery. Actually, it is a solid glass table. We have already seen, isn't it? It is a solid glass table. So she couldn't climb it. She tried to climb and take the key, but she couldn't climb it. And when she had tired herself out with trying, the poor little thing sat down and cried. And when she was trying again, she became very tired out of trying. And the poor little thing, here poor little thing refers to Alice. She sat down and cried. She cried a lot because she couldn't reach the key and how she could go through the door. Okay, you can see in the picture. See here, this is a glass table, no? When she see through this glass top, there is a key, but she couldn't reach it. So she tried to climb from one of the legs. She tried to climb one of the legs of the table, but it is too slippery, so she couldn't. Slippery means valukkurathu. Okay, but it is too slippery, so she couldn't reach the table and reach the key. Okay, so she sat down and cried. Then, "Come, there is no use in crying like that," said Alice to herself. And then she herself pacify her. Pacify na avale samadhanapadithikira. Okay, "Come, there is no use in crying like that," said Alice to herself rather sharply. Sharply means firmly. That is very strong in her mind. She is very strong in her mind, and then she said, "Come, there's no use in crying like that. There's no use. I advise you to leave off this minute. I advise you to leave off this minute." That is, leave off meaning stop crying. In this context, leave off meaning stop crying. Let us stop crying. I advise you means Alice herself advised to herself. Alice advises herself. Okay, I advise you to leave off this minute. This minute you stop crying. Like that she is telling. Okay. And then she generally gave herself very good advice, though she rarely followed it. So usually she herself gave the advice, but she rarely followed it. Nobody is advising her, but she herself gave advice, but she rarely followed it. Rarely followed means she won't follow it. Very rarely she followed it. Soon her eye fell on a little glass box that was lying under the table. So soon she saw a small little glass box under that table. Okay. She opened it and found in it a very small cake. When she opened it, she found a small cake in this box. Okay. On which the words "Eat me" were beautifully marked in currants. On which the words "Eat me" were beautifully marked in currants. Currants. What is the meaning of currants? Shown by inserting small dried grapes. That means in the cake, on the cake you may have find plum cake and all, and you may have find some dried fruits in cakes and all, isn't it? So like that, in this cake also she found dried grapes. With the dried grapes there were words which is "Eat me," like that. Okay, so it is marked in currants. With the grapes someone has written "Eat me." Okay, "Well, I will eat it," said Alice. So Alice said, "Okay, I'm going to eat it. And if it makes me grow larger, I can reach the key. And if it makes me grow smaller, I can creep under the door." And she thinks that after eating the cake, if she grow larger means she can reach the key and take it. If it makes her small means she can creep under the door. Because if she become too small means she can creep under the door. No, because there will be a gap in the door. So she can creep. Creep means crawling. Okay, oondu poradhu. Okay, under the door. So either way I will get into the garden. So whatever it is, she will get into the garden, and I don't care which happens. And she don't care what happens, whether she is going to be larger or smaller. She didn't care about that. She is going to eat it. Okay. Now, 13th paragraph. She ate a little bit and said anxiously to herself. She ate a little bit and said anxiously to herself. Anxiously means she ate a little bit of cake and said anxiously, "Which way? Which way?" Anxiously means worried, having some worry in her mind, and she said, "Which way? Which way?" Holding her hand on the top of her head to feel which way it was growing. She just hold her hand on her head. Which way I am going to grow? In which way? That is, இப்போ தலையில் கையை வச்சுட்டு தலையிலேருந்து இப்படி மேலே பெருசாகிறேன், நான் எப்படி பெருசாகிறேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு she is saying which way I am going to grow. And she was quite surprised to find that she remained the same size. But to her surprise, she remained the same size, only the 10 inches high. neither she grows larger nor she becomes small. Okay, this is what generally happens when one eats cake. So usually when one eats cake, nothing will happen, isn't it? Alice had got so much into the way of expecting. Got so much into the way of means got so used to. Alice used to have the strange experience. Okay, so but out of the way things to happen, that is she used to have out of the way things means different things, strange things வந்து happen to her. Okay, out of the way things means strange things, unfamiliar things happen to her. Usually used to na Alice used to na அவளுக்கு பழகிடுச்சு, அப்படியே அவளுக்கு different strange things will happen to her. Okay, that it seemed quite dull and stupid for life to go on in the common way. So Aliceக்கு வந்து அது பழக்கமாயிட்டதுனால she used to have strange things happening to her. After eating the cake there is nothing happened, isn't it? So அது காமனாக இருக்கிறது. It seemed it's dull, அது ரொம்ப டல்லாக இருக்குது. ஓகே, வைல் ரீடிங் நம்ம ரீட் பண்ணும்போதுமே டல்லாக தான் இருக்குது. பிகாஸ் கேக் ஈட் பண்ணோன்னே ஏதாவது ஒன்று ஹேப்பன் ஆனால் தான் நல்லாயிருக்கும். ஸோ இட்ஸ் சீம் டல் அண்ட் ஃபார் ஹர் ஆல்சோ இட் சீம் டல். காமனாக நடக்கிறது அவளுக்கு டல்லாக இருக்குது. ஏதாவது புதுசாக டிஃப்ரெண்ட்டாக நடந்ததுன்னா இட் இஸ் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் ஃபார் ஹர். ஓகே, ஸோ ஷி செட் டு ஒர்க் அண்ட் வெரி சூன் ஃபினிஷ்ட் ஆஃப் த கேக். ஸோ ஷி செட் டு ஒர்க் மீன்ஸ் நத்திங் ஹேப்பன் நோ. ஸோ அதெல்லாம் பற்றி கவலைப்படாமல் ஷி ஜஸ்ட் சிட் அண்ட் ஃபினிஷ் ஆஃப் த கேக். ஏன்னா கொஞ்சமாக தானே சாப்பிட்டா. ஸோ ஃபினிஷ் ஆஃப் த கேக். Okay, that up to this chapter finished. If you want to enjoy this story full means if you want to know what happens next means you have to read the whole book. Okay, Alice meets many peculiar creatures in the magical land she has entered and has many more strange experiences. So idukaprom she used to many peculiar creatures, that is different இருக்கிற creatures அதெல்லாம் she used to see மேஜிக்கல் லைனில் பார்ப்பா. அண்ட் ஸ்ட்ரேஞ்ச் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்லாம் நடக்கும். இதே மாதிரி பெருசாகிறது சின்னதாகிறது இதெல்லாம். த ஒயிட் ரேபிட் அப்பியர்ஸ் அகெயின் அண்ட் அகெயின் டு ஆக்ட் அஸ் ஆலிஸ் கைட். ஆலிஸோட கைடாக வந்து இந்த ஒயிட் ரேபிட் வந்து திரும்ப இது பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்கும். பிகாஸ் திஸ் இஸ் த ஃபஸ்ட் சாப்டர் நோ. ஸோ இதுக்கப்புறம் ஒயிட் ரேபிட் வில் அப்பியர் அஸ் அ கைட் டு ஹர், விச் இஸ் அம்யூசிங் பிகாஸ் ஹி டசன்ட் சீம் டு நோ ஈவன் த டைம் ஆஃப் த டே கம். அண்ட் which is amusing means it's a different thing, isn't it? It amuses us. It gives some suspense, isn't it? Because he doesn't seem to know even the time of the day. He doesn't seem to know the time கூட என்னன்னு தெரியாது அதுக்கு. பட் it act as a guide. ஓகே, ஆலிஸ்க்கு கைடாக வந்து அது ஆக்ட் பண்ணும். ஸோ இந்த பேராகிராஃப் வந்து இட்ஸ் அபவுட் அ புக். அந்த ஹோல் புக்கில் என்ன வரும் அப்படிங்கிறது. ஸோ ஃபஸ்ட் சாப்டர் அலோன் வி ஹவ் சீன். ஸோ ஆலிஸ் கேக் சாப்பிட்டதுக்கப்புறம் ஒன்றுமே ஆகலை. ஆஃப்டர் தட் வாட் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிறத யூ have to see the book. If you have interest means you just read the book and enjoy it. Okay,
students, I already gave 3 questions, isn't it? Let us deal with the question answers. What does Alice see when she is sitting beneath the tree? Alice sees a white rabbit with the coat and a pocket watch, isn't it? Next question, what did Alice see in the long low hall? She saw the hall is full of doors and she saw lamps hanging from the roof. Third question, did the golden key open any one of the doors? Any one of the big doors? No, the golden key did not open any of the big doors. Okay, you check the answer and correct it. Next, fourth question, why did Alice sit down and cry? Alice sat down and cried because she couldn't reach the key. She couldn't climb the glass table and reach the key. You can write like that. Then fifth question, what advice did Alice give to herself? Alice said, stop crying. That is the advice she gave to herself. You can write your own answer also. Okay. Next, read the lines I have given with answers. You can copy down this. You can also write your own answers. Okay. First read the line A, B questions. Now second read the lines A and B questions. Okay, you just copy down, or if you want to write you can write by your own. Thank you students. Let us see in the next class.